Hi, I'm Lucy Flores here with Free Speech TV at the People's Summit in Chicago. And I have the very great privilege of having this incredible young woman with me. I feel like that's maybe even like,
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
know, like I shouldn't call you that. You're just like, you're a woman, you're like a person in and of yourself. You're so amazing.
Thank you.
Belen Sisa, she is an undocumented student activist at ASU. And former Latino organizing person at Bernie. Too many words. But tell me, thank you so much for being here. I honestly, I follow Belen on social media. You should too. And you know, one of the things that I've just been so encouraged by, and this has been something that's been really special for me in all of my years in elected office and my time in politics, is, you know, you guys, you young people who are just out there and making it happen, and hopefully becoming us sometime
You're our
soon.
inspiration, so.
Well, it's vice versa.
Yeah.
We're just have a love fest the whole
feed
time.
off
We're
each
just
other.
gonna say amazing things about each other. Like, we don't even care about who's listening. But no, I mean, it's just amazing. So one of the things that and why I specifically wanted to talk with you is because you recently posted your tax returns on social media.
Yeah.
And as someone who has definitely been a target of the hate and the trolls and just the terrible side of humanity out there, you also were a target of that.
Yeah.
And you know, I really identified with what you were going through, because those of us who are in public service and who are out there and are really putting the good fight on behalf of people are attacked very often. But you know, you're an undocumented person. You talk about it often. You are much more vulnerable than I would ever be. And yet there you were talking about your tax returns and giving it back to all of these people. You did not just, you know, call it a day and say, I'm just going to ignore them. So tell me about that. Why, first of all, why did you decide to do that?
So the reason why I wanted to do it is because I think the moment in history that we're in, I just got really tired. I was just really angry of hearing only their side. And this year when I did my taxes, like I have been doing since, you know, the past 5 years since I've had deferred action, I wanted to show people the other side. I wanted to tell people the truth. I wanted to bust the myth that undocumented immigrants don't pay taxes. And we don't contribute to this country, because we have been forever, basically.
Right.
And the only thing that you ever hear is that we leech off of the system, that we take benefits, that we shouldn't be able to get, when in reality, people don't know that even if we pay taxes, we can't get any of those.
Right.
Like workers' compensation, like unemployment, like Social Security.
Right.
And the position that I'm in is temporary. And even if I did need unemployment one day and I paid into the system, even though I did it the right way, I still wouldn't be able to claim that.
Right.
And so it was being tired, it was just the perfect moment, and there was just so much hypocrisy that surrounded 2016 and all of these political campaigns. And I wanted to give a voice to all the people who didn't have one or felt like they're being drowned out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, it's really interesting because we're here at the People's Summit. This is just a gathering of people who've been involved in politics, who've not been involved. It's every variation of people, from veterans to literally people who just voted this election for the very first time, right? Or maybe didn't vote and that's why they're here.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally everything. So, you know, given your experience and you know what you went through as far as the targeting and the hate speech and the harassment, you know, I think that that's one of the things that people maybe are a little afraid of, that if they do put themselves out there, that there's going to be all these people who are going to attack them. Like, what is your response to that? Because at the end of the day, we can't control what people ultimately do, right? If you put yourself out there, we cannot guarantee to people that you're not going to be harassed.
Exactly.
But why should people, from your perspective, why should people continue to do so? Why should people, you know, put themselves out there on whatever issue that might be, you know, what do you think? Why did you do it, knowing that you could be targeted, and you continued to do it despite being targeted?
One of the things that I learned when I made the post is that either way, we're going to have a target on our back. Either way, you're going to be attacked for something.
Yeah.
So why don't you actually stand for something and tell people the truth and tell people the side and stand up for those who maybe aren't inspired to do it yet? When I exposed all of those hate messages and I screenshotted them and I put them online, they were not expecting that.
Right.
What they wanted out of sending me those messages was for me to shut up and sit down and just take it.
Right.
And they wanted to instill fear, and I wasn't going to give that to them.
Right.
I was just so tired that I just said, no, I'm not going to let you get away with this, and I'm going to expose everything that you just said, and you're showing me who you really are.
Right.
So why are you sending that in a private message? You know, and we see this online bullying on all types of issues, not even just immigration, but that is our way to fight back, is showing everyone what immigrants are really going through, because I think that sometimes it's hard for people who don't have the experience to really see what this country, like what it's like to be in this country as an immigrant, an undocumented immigrant specifically.
Did you see yourself 4 or 5 years ago, did you see yourself being as active as you are right now? Did you ever, you know, what was your entry into becoming active in your community, becoming this the Latino outreach person for the Sanders campaign? What took you in that direction?
I didn't picture this at all. I was in a complete different stage in my life 5 years ago. I was graduating high school. I went to high school in Flores, Arizona, just a few miles away from the Immigrant Detention Center. I was very powerless. I felt like I didn't really know what to do. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the role models. I was kind of isolated where I was. And so what took me there was really being inspired by the brave and courageous undocumented youth who fought for DACA, who made President Obama make that action, because they're the real champions. They're the ones who made that happen. And it's so overlooked sometimes, I feel like, but they're the reason why I'm the person that's sitting here in front of you today. They're the ones who taught me. They're the ones who inspired me, who empowered me. And from there, it was just, I was unstoppable. Once I was shown the way, once I was basically inspired and saw that other people were doing it too, that I wasn't by myself, is when everything changed. And I went on to do things that I would have never expected me to do, like work for Bernie, like make that viral post, like stand in front of the state capitol and call out Jan Brewer because she wasn't giving us driver's licenses, even after we had DACA. It's always a constant defense. And I think that that's taught me in a way.
So what is your one call to action for people who want to get involved, they want to figure out how to do something, they just don't know what to do, or maybe they just they're not familiar with the process, or maybe they're scared. What's your one thing that you tell people when they say, how do we instruct these folks, everyone here at the People's Summit? What do we tell them to do?
I think local. We've seen that nationally, it's going to be an uphill battle. We don't know what this administration is thinking. We've seen that they're not our allies at the moment. I would say that the biggest change that you can make is by pushing the people that are elected closest to you, like your city councils, like your governors, like your state legislatures, and connecting with local organizations that are already doing the work.
Absolutely.
And there you'll be guided into, doing what's best for the community. Sometimes we want to help so badly that we get blinded or kind of like try to cross over and do our own thing. But the most powerful thing is to go to the people who are affected and learn from them and follow their path, because they know what's best for their community.
Absolutely. Well, I could not have said it better myself, and as a former state legislator, I appreciate the shout out to the locals. But it's so true, right? Those aren't the sexy, those aren't the campaigns that are getting the millions of dollars and campaign commercials, but they're the ones that make the most decisions that impact you on a daily basis. So thank you for that. I think it's an amazing and definitely poignant and message that we should all take from the People's Summit. And I think it's the message that we're trying to give. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Belen Sisa.
Thank you.
Find her on Facebook and other social media channels.
Yeah,
What's your
Twitter,
Instagram?
Instagram.
Twitter? Okay.
It's Belen Sisa on Twitter
Belen
too.
Sisa, there you go. Follow her. She's amazing.